Hey there guys, Cole from TCG Cardcast, and today I'm going to be going over Yugi Muto's 60 card deck profile. Let's get started. So obviously, if you're making a Yugi Muto deck, it's important that you have the essentials. Again, this is a deck. This is actually the deck that was used in the Versus episode we released on Wednesday last week. So let's go over the gist of it. First of all, you cannot have a Yugi Muto deck without Dark Magician in the original art. Dark Magician is a 2500 attack point, 2100 defense, normal monster, the ultimate wizard in turns of attack and defense to level 7 Dark Spellcaster, and is my favorite monster in the entire game. Next up, to accompany our Dark Magician, we have his apprentice, the Dark Magician Girl. She's a Dark level 6 Spellcaster effect monster with 2000 attack and 1700 defense. And her effect is she gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. Pretty cool. Next up, I am running one copy of Slifer the Sky Dragon. Now, if you prefer to see that card in its playable art, we do have it right here. But we do prefer to play them with the colored art because it just makes the decks feel more authentic. So Slifer the Sky Dragon is a level 10 divine beast effect monster with question mark attack and defense. Essentially, Slifer just gets 1,000 attack points for every card in your hand, and I think it's pretty easy to remember that it's Slifer. So yeah. Oh, and he also takes away 2,000 points for any monster your opponent summons face up, which is also pretty cool. Slifer's my favorite Egyptian god card. Next up, we have the Envoy of the deck. We have Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. Envoy of the Beginning is a light, level 8. Yeah, level 8. Warrior effect monster with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense points. His effects are, he has to be special summoned by banishing a light and dark monster from your graveyard. And once per turn, he can target one card in the field and banish that target. But he cannot attack that turn, or he can attack twice as long as he destroys a monster. Pretty cool stuff. I am using a super rare art, so he is pretty nice and shiny. Next up, I am playing one copy of Dark Magician of Chaos. Dark Magician Chaos is a level 8 Dark Spellcaster effect monster with 2,800 attack points and 2,600 defense points. During the end phase, if he was normal or special summoned, you can target one spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand, which is pretty cool. When he destroys a monster, or when he destroys a monster, that monster gets banished. When he is destroyed, he gets banished as well. And his first effect can only activate on the turn he's summoned. Pretty cool. He is really useful for getting all those draw power cards back out of the graveyard, which there are quite a lot of in this deck. Next, I am playing the awesome Buster Blader. Buster Blader is a level 8 Earth Warrior effect monster with 2,600 attack points and 2,100 defense points. Buster Blader gains 500 attack points for every dragon in your opponent's graveyard and on their field. Next up, I'm playing the classic and always awesome Summon Skull. Summon Skull is a level 6 Dark Fiend normal monster with 2,500 attack points and 1,200 defense points. A Fiend with the dark powers for confusing the enemy. Among the Fiend type monsters, this monster boasts considerable force, and he's always treated as an Archfiend. Right there. Pretty cool. I am playing one Archfiend of Guilford, or if you like to say it like I do, I prefer to call him Beast of Guilford. Archfiend of Guilford is a level 6 Dark Fiend effect monster with 2,200 attack and 2,500 defense points. When this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up monster on the field, equip that target with this card. That monster loses 500 attack while equipped with this card. Pretty cool. One of the very few Fiends in this deck, among Summon Skull and I think Karibo are the only 3. Next up, we are playing Valkyrion, and with Valkyrion we have to play Alpha, Beta, and Gamma the Magnet Warriors. So Alpha the Magnet Warrior so Alpha, Beta, and Gamma are all level 4 Earth Rock monsters. Alpha has 1,400 attack points and 1,700 defense points. Beta has 1,700 attack points and 1,600 defense points, and Gamma has 1,500 attack points and 1,800 defense points. All of their effects say Alpha, Beta, and Gamma meld as one to form a powerful monster. So Valkyrion is a level 8 Earth Rock monster, effect monster with 3,500 attack points and 3,850 defense points. He cannot be normal summoned / set. He must be summoned by, if I'm correct, it is banishing? Yes, it is. Wait, hold on. I always get this one mixed up. Yes. It's by tributing. So you can either tribute them all on the field to... So these guys from your hand and field. You can tribute them, send them to the graveyard to summon Valkyrion, or you can do the vice versa. You can banish Valkyrion, that's where I got mixed up, to summon back your 3 Magnet Warriors. So, pretty cool, pretty tough. He's very strong, and he is definitely one of my favorite cards in this deck. Next, we are playing 1 copy of Skilled Dark Magician. Skilled Dark Magician is a Dark level 4 spellcaster effect monster with 1900 attack points and 1700 defense points. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. When that spell card resolves, maximum 3, you contribute this card with 1 spell counter on it. Special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand, or from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Pretty cool Dark Magician support. We are playing 1 copy of Breaker the Magical Warrior. Breaker the Magical Warrior is a Dark level 4 spellcaster effect monster with 1600 attack and 1000 defense points. If this card is normal summon, place 1 spell counter on it, maximum 1. Gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it, and you can remove 1 spell counter from this card to target 1 spell trap card on the field, destroy it. Pretty cool. Next up, we have Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. This one actually is quite a saving card here. It can actually protect you from a lot in the other character decks, because a lot of the character decks have high monsters that have a lot of big attack points. So Obnoxious Celtic Guardian is a Earth level 4 warrior effect monster with 1400 attack and 1200 defense. He cannot be destroyed by battle with a monster that has 1900 or more attack. Pretty cool, saving grace. Next up, we are running the Baphomet and Gazelle. So Baphomet is a level 5 Dark Fiend effect monster with 1400 attack and 1800 defense. And his effect is when this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add 1 Gazelle, the King of Mythical Beasts, from your deck to your hand. And Gazelle is a Earth level 4 beast, normal monster with 1500 attack and 1200 defense. This monster moves so fast that it looks like an illusion to the mortal eye. We are not running the Poker Knights in this deck because you often draw into Jack's Knight, so you can't really play King's effect. So we decided not to throw him in here. So yeah, I'm out of breath, so excuse me if I get a little breathy. I'm talking really fast. We are playing 1 copy of Mystical Elf. She's a light level 4 spellcaster, normal monster with 800 attack and 2000 defense points. A delicate elf that lacks offense but has a terrific defense backed by mystical power. Pretty cool. She is a really good spellcaster in this deck. Next up, we are playing the ever-impressive Big Shield Gardna. Big Shield Gardna is an Earth level 4 warrior effect monster with 100 attack and 2600 defense. During either player's turn, when this card face down and no other cards are targeted by a spell card, change this card to face up defense position. And if you do, negate the spell card's activation. And if this card is attacked, change it to attack position at the end of the damage step. So he set him face down. Your opponent attacks into this guy. Your opponent's gonna need a lot to mow this guy down. So he is quite the impressive defensive card. That is why he's in here, and he's always a classic addition to Yugi's deck. Getting towards the end of the monsters here, we have Electromagnetic Turtle. This card debuted in Battle City. This is a light level 4 machine effect monster with 0 attack and 1800 defense points. During your opponent's battle phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, end the battle phase. It's a quick effect. You can only use the effect of Electromagnetic Turtle once per turn. Obviously, we're only running 1, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's pretty cool. I do like him. He is a light monster, which helps attribute to the very low number, but the good number of monsters that are in here for Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. It's not a Yugi deck without Karibo. Dark level 1 Fiend effect with 300 attack and 200 defense. During your opponent's turn, during damage calculation, you can discard this card. You take no battle damage from the battle. This is a quick effect. You can never have a deck without Karibo. I'm still amazed that there's not like an ultra rare print of Karibo anywhere. I've looked. There isn't one, which is weird. Finally, the unarguably strongest card in Yugi's deck, Wadapon. Wadapon is a light level 1 fairy effect monster with 200 attack and 3000 defense and 300 defense. God, if only. If this card is added from your deck to your hand by a card effect, you can special summon this card. Having this card in here will make sense, only not just for nostalgia, but it will make sense when you see how much draw power is actually in this deck. So that's all the monsters. We're going to get into the spell cards now, starting off with the classic Monster Reborn. Special summon 1 monster from either player's graveyard. I do plan on eventually paying. I don't think I'll ever pay $34 for it, but the Japanese English version of the English version of the Japanese art is really cool, and I do plan to get that for my Dark Magician deck. So someday, Next up, we're playing Pot of Greed. I don't know what this card does, but it says to draw 2 cards, but I'm not too sure still. Then we have 1, Polymerization in the classic anime artwork. Pretty cool. We are playing 1, Graceful Charity. This is where all the draw power starts to come in. Graceful Charity, draw 3 cards and discard 2. Very, very powerful card. Card of Sanctity. We do play this card with the errata from the show where it's just draw until both players are holding 6 cards. So yeah, pretty cool. We're playing Card Destruction. Both players toss out their hands and then draw the same number of cards they discarded. Pretty basic. 1 copy of Swords of Revealing Light. Your opponent cannot attack while this card is face up on the field during each of your opponent's end phases. This place 1 or wait. This card remains in the field for 3 of your opponent's turns. There we go. So yeah, I always forget how it's phrased. So we are playing 1 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon. Target 1 face up. Target 1 spell or trap card on the field. Destroy it. This is a quick play spell, which is really cool. We are playing a copy of Brain Control. Pay 800 life points, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Take control of that target until the end phase. Pretty cool. Classic card. We're playing 1 copy of Thousand Knives. This is one of the only three actual Dark Magician support cards, but it is in there. Thousand Knives, if you control Dark Magician, target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Pretty cool. 1 copy of Magic Formula. Target 1 Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. It gains 700 attack, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you gain 1,000 points. Pretty good. We are playing 1 copy of Dedication for Light and Darkness to correspond with our Magician of Dark Chaos. Tribute 1 Dark Magician, special summon 1 Dark Magician of Chaos from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Quick effect, which is really cool. I do like quick effect cards. And finally, the last quick effect magic card for spellcasters is Magical Dimension. If you control a spellcaster type monster, target 1 monster you control, tribute that target, then special summon 1 spellcaster type monster from your hand. Then you can destroy 1 card on the field, or 1 monster on the field. So that's pretty cool. Going into the trap cards now, we have the awesome Mirror Force. I actually never build a deck without it unless it's a character deck that says not to put it in there, but Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls. Ever classic. This card has been with Yugi, if I'm correct, since Duelist Kingdom. So, except I'm sure it was a lot more broken during Duelist Kingdom. Spellbinding Circle. Activate this card by targeting 1 monster your opponent controls. It cannot attack or change its battle position. When that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. Excuse me if I flub my words a little bit, guys. I am a little out of breath from doing this. I do not talk a lot or this fast very often. 1 Magician Circle. When a spellcaster type monster declares an attack, each player special summons 1 spellcaster type monster with 2,000 or less attack from their deck in attack position. Pretty cool. So that's to get out like your Dark Magician Girl, which is pretty great. Magic Cylinders. This one's pretty simple. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack. Pretty crazy card. One of the more powerful comeback cards in Yugi's deck. And the final trap card is Magical Hats. During your opponent's battle phase, choose 2 spell trap cards from your deck and 1 monster you control. Special summon them as a normal monsters. Attack 0, defense 0 in face down defense position. Set the chosen monsters if it is face up and set the chosen monster if it is face up and shuffle them on the field. The 2 cards chosen from your deck are destroyed at the end of the battle phase and cannot remain on the field except during this battle phase. This card is pretty fun, especially if you say it the way I do, which is when you play it. It's usually when your opponent attacks. Usually when my opponents attack, I say you can destroy it, but you have to find it first. You know, like Yugi or something like that. I feel I'm such a weeb, but this is a really fun card to play. This is one of my favorite cards in this entire deck. On to the only 2 fusion monsters in this deck. We are playing Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, which is a Wind level 6 Beast fusion effect, which requires Gazelle the King of Mythical Beasts and Berfomet. And this card's always treated as a Phantom Beast card. When this card is destroyed, you can target 1 Berfomet or Gazelle the King of Mythical Beast in your graveyard. Special summon that target. This card has 2,100 attack and 1,800 defense. Now for the arguably strongest monster in this deck. This is one of my favorite cards in the entire game. we do have one copy of Dark Paladin. Dark Paladin is a level 8 Dark Spellcaster Fusion effect that requires Dark Magician and Buster Blader that has 2,900 attack points and 2,400 defense points. It must be fusion summoned, and when a spell card is activated, quick effect, you can discard one card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect, and just like Buster Blader, it gains 500 attack for each Dragon-type monster on the field and in the graveyard. However, this one does not only count for your opponent's side, this one also counts for your side too. So that was pretty much Yugi's 40 card deck. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you have some fun character deck duels with it. Next week we are going to cover Seto Kaiba's 40 card deck, and after that, Merrick. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you guys go down to the comment section. Tell me what your favorite card in this deck is, or if you don't have a favorite card in this deck, tell me what your favorite card is overall. If you want to see more character decks or character deck duels, make sure you tell us in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like, a subscribe, and, as always, don't play Fortnite, stay off the streets, don't do drugs, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday for the podcast. Later.